The diva of discarded tongues. I still remember the day they laughed at me. It was a Sunday dinner, the kind where the table was set with care, and the aroma of my mother's lasagna wafted through the air like a comforting embrace. But that day, I had a secret to share, one that had been gnawing at my insides like a ravenous rat. I was ready to reveal my passion for phonetic necromancy, the art of resurrecting lost voices from the echoes of the dead. Mom, Dad, I've been working on something incredible, I said, my heart racing as I caught their attention. My father's fork clattered against his plate. Incredible? Like your last hobby? You mean the one that got you fired? My mother's laughter rang out, sharp and brittle. Oh, honey, don't tell me you're still playing with ghosts. This is unhealthy. You need to find a real job. Their ridicule cut deeper than any knife, but I pressed on, determined to share my findings. I've been studying how to reconstruct voices from anatomical remnants. Imagine connecting with those who've passed, hearing their stories. Stop, my brother spat, his face twisted in disgust. You're insane. You'll disgrace the family. The laughter that followed echoed around me, a mocking chorus that drowned out my hopes. I fled from that table, the shadows of their disbelief wrapping around me like a shroud. I had been exiled into the unknown, left to navigate the dark corners of my obsession alone. Years passed as I delved deeper into the macabre world of phonetic necromancy. I became a ghost in my own life, isolated by my pursuit of knowledge that others deemed delusional. I haunted abandoned buildings, mapping cursed territories, and collecting remnants of voices lost to time. Each recording I unearthed whispered secrets of despair and regret, and in those chilling echoes, I found purpose. But it wasn't just a hobby, it was a calling. I became notorious in the underground circles of paranormal research, my name whispered with a mix of fear and reverence. I was no longer just the disgrace of my family. I was a warning to those who dared to mock the unknown. Then came the day I uncovered a horrifying truth that would send shivers down the spines of even the most hardened skeptics. I had managed to reconstruct the voice of a woman who had been silenced by a brutal murder decades ago. Her last words, laced with anguish, revealed a hidden network of corruption tied to my old clinic, the very place that had cast me aside. I recorded her voice, a haunting melody of sorrow, and shared it with the world. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. When I returned home, I was no longer the fragile creature they had belittled. I was a vessel of knowledge, a conduit for the forgotten. But as I stood in front of my childhood home, a chill danced down my spine. The familiar brick facade felt foreign, tainted by the memories of disdain. My family was gathered in the living room, their faces a mosaic of confusion and disbelief. They had seen the news, the articles about the supernatural horrors I had unveiled, and the whispers of my name now carried more weight than their derision ever could. Look who's back, my brother sneered, though his bravado was thin, like a fragile mask over fear. The ghost whisperer returns. What do you want? A medal? I stepped forward, holding a small device in my hand, a phonetic recorder, my most prized possession. I've come to show you what I've learned. You should see what I can do now. Their laughter had turned to silence, the air thick with tension. I activated the recorder, and the room filled with a crackling hum. I closed my eyes, focusing on the voices I had gathered, the spirits I had awakened. This is the voice of the woman I spoke of. You need to hear her. The room darkened, shadows creeping along the walls as the recorder whirred to life. The chilling sound of a woman's voice, soft yet piercing, filled the air. Help me. They won't let me rest. My family's faces turned pale, eyes wide with terror. I watched as disbelief morphed into horror, and I felt a strange satisfaction bloom within me. They were finally witnessing the weight of their mockery. "Stop it," my mother cried, her voice trembling. "This isn't real." But the voice continued, weaving a tapestry of despair. "They took my voice, my life. I am bound to this place." Suddenly, the lights flickered, plunging the room into darkness. A cacophony of whispers erupted, filling the space with an oppressive force. I felt the air grow heavy, charged with a presence that had... The shadows coalesced around them, clinging to their forms like a vengeful spirit. I stood rooted to the spot, the realization dawning on me that they were about to understand the horrors I had faced. In that moment, I saw their disbelief crumble. They were no longer the dismissive family I had known. They were now terrified witnesses to the consequences of their ridicule. The weight of their mockery bore down on them, and I felt a sense of vindication wash over me. As the voices swirled, I stepped back, allowing the darkness to envelop them. I had survived the torment of the unseen, and now they would face a reckoning for their ignorance. When the lights flickered back on, my family was gone, swallowed by the shadows, trapped in a realm of their own making. I stood alone, the silence deafening, the echoes of their disbelief reverberating in my mind. I had become what they had feared, a harbinger of the truth that lay buried beneath their laughter. And as I left that house, I realized that I wasn't just a voice necromancer. I was the diva of discarded tongues, a guardian of the forgotten stories that would never again be silenced. The world outside was bright and harsh, but the darkness I carried within me felt like a crown, a reminder of my journey and the cost of disbelief. I had emerged victorious, but the victory came at a price, a haunting reflection of the family I once knew, now lost to the very horrors they had dismissed.